All right, have and have not fans, and believe it or not, well, this is going to be another Veronica focused video. And before getting into, I just hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. This is my first video that I'm recording since I got back home from Thanksgiving break, if you will. Honestly, didn't need as much as I mean, usually I throw down on Thanksgiving, but I don't know if it was a self-conscious thing or something, but I really didn't eat as much as I usually do. I guess that's a good thing, or maybe I'm just telling myself, okay, maybe I'm just not going to eat as much as I usually do on Thanksgiving. That way when Christmas comes, I can fill up on cookies. But with that being said, you know, I made a good haul on Black Friday. I didn't even go to a store. I did all my shopping online. And hopefully tomorrow the same holds true when a Cyber Monday comes around. But with that being said, this video is going to be Veronica themed, but again, it goes back to the fact that the video I posted a couple weeks ago about has Veronica's death been confirmed, that video just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The last time I did a video and I was talking about that particular video, I think it was the top 10 Ice Queen moments or something like that, and I said that video was about 82,000 hits. If I'm not mistaken, it's over 115,000 hits at this point. So by the time this video gets posted, it might be around almost 120,000. All I'm saying is it would not surprise me if that video within the next few weeks becomes my biggest video on the channel. I mean, the biggest one I have, I think, is about 189,000 or 190. I think it had to do with did Candace really love her son or something like that. But the fact that that video is doing so well during hiatus, this just makes me really excited about the haves and have-nots coming back on in January. That way more people will be searching for the haves and the have-not online, YouTube. So hopefully my channel pops up, because I do appreciate it when I see the comments about, hey, great video, keep up the good work, you deserve more views and subscribers. Well, hopefully that happens come 2018. Now with this video, again, it goes back to the has Veronica's death been confirmed. I even did a follow-up video saying I don't think Veronica's dead. I mean, the comments, that video has over almost the has her death been confirmed. That video has hundreds of comments and people are going off. All I'm saying is this. The question for this video, or the theme, is why is Veronica so important? And it goes back to what I've been saying over and over again about Veronica Harrington. In a way, she is the show. But I mean, you can say what you want about the haves and have-nots, but Veronica is the show, literally. I feel that around maybe season 3, maybe around the time when Candace got abducted, well, excuse me, not Candace, but when Jim got abducted by Warlock, and then Warlock, you know, started chasing after Candace. Pretty much it's a cat and mouse game, so to speak, not just between Jim and Candace, but I feel like that's when Veronica swooped in and stole the award for being the baddest bitch in Savannah, Georgia, and on the show. Was when Candace went from the girl who thought she was in control to finding out, okay, I really don't have any control over everything, being, you know, two-time by Oscar, being chased around by Quincy, and then Warlock, you know, literally threatening her life and her family. And that's when Veronica just became the star. I mean, and I don't even think that's a point that can be argued. And, you know, usually I say like, hey, it could be argued that so-and-so happened, but I feel like a huge majority of the fan base really thinks that Veronica is the show. And honestly, I have to agree with them. I don't agree with how that's been written into the show in terms of, hey, Veronica is the show, so, you know, she's the reason a majority of the fans are watching the show. Because again, I cannot tell you how many comments I've seen where people are straight up said, if they kill Veronica, I'm gonna quit watching the show. And I mean, I can believe that. I mean, I'm not going to do that myself. I'm going to keep watching, because again, the show's ending in 2020. So we made it this far. Why not just finish it out? It just goes to show you that when you give the focus to one character and they die, and again, hey, depending on if you follow my branch of anime and whatnot, Goku and Dragon Ball Z, Ash Ketchum and Pokemon, just other various shows. I mean, heck, if you want to do a throwback, look at Disney's Kim Possible. The show's name was Kim Possible, but you had Ron Stoppable, you had Rufus, you had Wade, her parents, and the listing goes on. But the problem with the haves and the have-nots, and again, I've said it before, I even did a video about 5 ways to improve the show. The fact that Veronica has gotten all this focus, it's a bad thing because it makes you less interested in the other characters. So I can understand why people say if Veronica's dead, I don't want to watch anymore, because the other characters haven't been fleshed out enough so that you'll be interested in watching them with the star gone. Almost like the whole, you know what, after Michael left the Jacksons, that was it. Nobody really cared about the rest of them boys. They just cared about Michael. I mean, if you want to just use a real world analogy, there you go. So what I'm thinking is, now looking from my perspective, and again, this isn't me talking bad about any fans. Do not misinterpret my statements here. My thing is, I try to look through the glasses of being, you know, an addict, but at the same time not a fanboy. You know what I mean? In terms of people who perfect. Okay, another example. Comment, and I hope I'm not losing you all with the references I'm making here, but I'm pretty sure you all, even if you don't follow the same kind of stuff I do outside the haves and the have-nots, you'll get it. When it comes to like superheroes, hey, who will win, Batman or, you know, Thanos? Somebody says Batman. Okay, why? Because he's Batman. See how annoying that is? You're not really giving me facts. Same thing with Veronica in terms of, you know, the whole situation with David and Benny and Jeffrey. When people say that Veronica's the best and she's not in the wrong, and you're really not giving me a solid argument here. You're just saying that because you're a Veronica fangirl or fanboy and you love Veronica, you don't see her personality flaw. I've had people argue with me, legitimately argue with me, about Veronica and Benny being in a relationship. I'm just like, well, they're not in a relationship. And Veronica even made it clear on screen to Benny in his face that he only used him to get back at her husband David, and that was it. Like, there was no love there. I mean, it was a cougar thing and a physical attraction maybe, but nothing like, you know, hey, I want to marry this guy. No, it's not like that. And when it comes down to her as a character, I think it would be a bad idea to kill her off. But hey, I mean, honestly, the only death of Veronica I want to see is the death of the Veronica we've been seeing for the past 2 to 3 seasons. She's just this, I want to say complex, but not really, just because of the fact that she's in your face and you know she's there, in terms of, you know what Veronica you're dealing with when she's, you know, up in your presence. You can tell if you're dealing with Veronica Harrington. You can tell if you're dealing with the Ice Queen. And yes, it is impressive, and I've said this before, how she can switch personalities to like this monster in the courtroom. Like, you know, when she walks in there, I mean, the same can go for any one of her personas, so to speak. When she walks in a room, even when she's not there, she commands everything. And that's the thing that is impressive. But then it gets to the point of being psychotic and just insanity, to where, okay, I get that Veronica is important. Again, I hope I don't sound like I'm rambling here, but these are just my thoughts in terms of my responses to how people are talking about the Veronica situation. That if you give a character way too much power and then they never get their comeuppance, in terms of, okay, she's evil for the sake of being evil and she gets away with everything, and right when you think she's going to face, you know, the consequences, like her being stabbed by Jeffrey, almost raped by Quincy, almost killed by Catherine, and the list goes on, she somehow manages to land on her feet and then doesn't learn her lesson. But doesn't that sound exactly like Candace in terms of how she blackmails, extorts, sells her body, and does this and that, doesn't, you know, lose her child and whatnot? But at the end of the day, she doesn't change. There are moments where it seems like, oh my God, Candace is finally opening her eyes, but then she just goes back, you know, right back to what she's doing, and even raises the stakes higher than the situation she barely made herself, you know, out of. I guess you could say Veronica is the same way, and wow, I never even thought of that until just now. So I will definitely be doing a video soon about Veronica and Candace teaming up, because that was mentioned in the finale. But I'm just saying that it would be a mistake to kill off Veronica, and I'm not saying that in terms of, yeah, they better not kill her, I'm going to stop watching, or man, you can't do that, that will destroy the show. I'm only saying that the death of Veronica should happen in terms of her personality. People have been theorizing, you know, and again, I'm not going to say this over and over again, but we've already said that she'll most likely, she would possibly be in the situation that she threatened Melissa with, in terms of being aware of what's going on around her, not being able to move, but, you know, being in like a semi-comatose state. She'll probably be in a situation like that. But one of the more popular theories in my mind, well, not, you know, headcanon, but things I've discussed with my mom as well as people online. It would be interesting if she has amnesia. I guess. I mean, that would be interesting, but at the same time, I don't know how that would play out. Could she go back to the way she was before the haves and have not started, that loving, caring wife and mother that David described her as? I mean, honestly, that would be an interesting twist, but I feel like there are way too many. See, this is the problem with having Veronica's hand in too many different pots. You know, like she has control and, you know, contingencies on everybody. I don't know if turning her into a quote-unquote good guy would be a wise choice at this point in the game, just because similar to Candace, she does have a lot of enemies. I mean, even though she has control over those people, let's say if Veronica, you know, let go of the leash, those dogs will most likely turn around and come back to bite her. I feel like Veronica has made so many, well, I'll call them bad choices, but she did have control of the situation. I don't think that doing a complete personality swap is what I want to see. I want to see some gradual development. Like if she is in that semi-comatose state, have her mother show up, have David show up, talk to her, listen, tell more about her backstory, how she used to be, how she became. Let me just put it this way. If you really want me to jump aboard the Veronica fangirl boat, here's what I want to see. I want to see Veronica in that comatose state, or maybe not even in that situation she threatened Melissa with, but let's just say she's going to, and I even said this before, I didn't want to see another character in the hospital, but let's just put Veronica in a situation where she has to depend on other people. Let's see who wants to help her out, because remember, despite everything she's done, Jeffrey and David say they still love her. I mean, because that's their mom, that's their, you know, wife. This is a perfect time for some character growth. Have Veronica open her eyes. Remember how Benny and Hannah were screaming in Candace's face about, look, you lost your son, but look at everything you've done up until this point to kind of explain why you're reaping what you sowed. So really, this is the perfect time to have Veronica, oh my God, I did all this, and why did I do that? And then, and again, don't make it so one episode she's this ice cold bitch, and then the next thing you know, she's like a good hearted person, like, you know, Hannah tries to portray herself to be. I mean, I ain't trying to start a fight on Hannah, but just have some character development. That's all I'm asking for. So that's why this video is about. I don't think that Veronica should be killed off. I think this is about her being so important to the plot, but at the same time, I really feel like Veronica should have a personality swap. And again, just like, remember how Benny came out of the coma and he's like, well, I wouldn't say completely different, but he's kind of had this like slow mentality, so to speak. I don't want to say the word retarded because that's mean, but he hasn't been himself and nobody's questioned it. And I'm just like, what the? I don't know if that's a plot point that's ever going to be re-explored. I hope it does, because again, remember that Hannah, despite the doctor trying to warn her about taking him off life support so soon, she was like, no, I don't care, do it. And he didn't even have a chance to tell her about the side effects. And you just notice how his personality, like, what was it? Hey, let's take off our shoes and stand in the yard. And then he sounded like a little kid when he was talking to Candace. Hey girl, how you doing? Because remember, that was the first time he called her over the phone after he got out of the hospital. And remember, she thought he was dead at the time. And the list goes on. It's just, and then his involvement for Veronica. I mean, some people are like, oh, he would have done that anyway. I don't know. I mean, he was hesitant at first, but the way she was, you know, persuading him, I don't think that season 1 Benny would have fell for it. So with that being said, you know, this video wasn't like some big theory. It's just an open discussion. And what I want to get across, the point I want to get across is, I don't want to see Veronica die. Kind of like Taylor Swift, hey, the old Taylor can't come to the phone, she's dead. Now, if that's the situation, yes, have the old Veronica we've been seeing for the past few seasons slowly die. You know, let's say if she's in the hospital until like the mid-season of next season, I would welcome that. Then when she gets out, she kind of opens her eyes to like, I almost died. This was my fault. I need to watch my steps. And then move forward. I feel like that will give her not a bad bitch trophy, but the fact that she's gotten more development of Candace, in my opinion. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section below, what do you want to see of Veronica in the next season? You know, like not her being dead. Heck, I even did a video about the links she would go through if her freaking grandchild is dead. I feel like that video is going to be another good discussion. a lot of people have commented on it, believe it or not. It's almost at 3,000 hits. So again, let me know your thoughts below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.